In my pocketbook. Hello, 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 everyone. You are here with Feet Planted LLC. This is my second anniversary episode, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in the space. Happy Thursday. You know, I had to think about what day it is. We got all sorts of stuff happening over here, but that's okay. It's a party. It's a party. The music that you are listening to is curated by none other than Mr. Al Felton, my partner in life. So look at the handsome gentleman in front of me in the lime green shirt.
All right, I am doing well, but my sound just went out. Can you hear me?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. And I can hear you over here. I turned my music off a little bit. We have some competing stuff going on, but that's okay.
Well, congratulations on
What's
2 years. That's an accomplishment in itself. So congratulations to you. And
Ah,
thank you to your husband for dropping some beats. You know, I haven't heard anybody drop beats in a little while. So thank you so much.
oh, you're absolutely welcome. See, baby, get a shout out. You all, if you are just joining us, come on in the space. This is Feet Planted LLC with the CEO and founder of GCubed Enterprises Incorporated. He is my special guest for this evening. I told you in my 2-year celebration that I've been trying to get this brother for like a couple of years, literally, no lie. And so we have finally, I'm just gonna say we've joined forces, and he is my honored guest. You all are in for a treat. You all are very much in for a treat. So go ahead, grab a seat, grab a notepad, uh, grab your sons, your daughters, your neighbors, because you're about to learn a lot. And our theme is investing in our future STEM innovators. And so, again, sir, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing amazing. It's funny because I've had some real challenges over the last few months, so I'm just honored to still be above ground, walking amongst the living. All honor to God for that because it's been a challenge. But what it tells me is that God is not through with me yet, and I still have a lot more work to do. So thank you for having me here, and I do consider this part of the work that I try to do for our community.
Well, I am thankful that you are doing the work. Thankful that we are both above ground and able to continue the work that we do in STEM. So let's get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way yet. I am live streaming on my platforms, but again, I've got my techie little bit assistant. Y'all know I call her little bit because she's a little shorter to the ground and move people, but she is also a STEM professional in the cyberspace, and she's gotten Vernon Green Jr. and I linked up on Instagram. So now you're seeing me with my green screen. I don't mind you all seeing how the sausage is made because I want you to understand what it takes to go live, what it takes to get these types of caliber people in front of you so that you can edify and educate yourself in the STEM space. I have no problem with you all seeing behind the literal curtain. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. So a little bit about Feet Planted LLC. I started Feet Planted LLC in 2021, initially as a motivational speaking endeavor because I would talk to schools, students, and corporations about STEM, how to move the needle, and my own experience as an African American female in the STEM space. I transitioned to consulting and really wanting to get more community rooted and more focused on helping our BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color have access to the Vernon Green Juniors of the world, have access to the Karrin Feltons, and to the rest of you all who are trailblazing in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Not only is it a fruitful career, it is an opportunity to use your creativity to shift the atmosphere, but just really transcend how we move and think. Like literally, I'm over here, hey, Instagram, looking at Mr. Vernon Green on my phone, and I'm also here. That is nothing but technology, and to make sure that our youth know that they have the capacity to do those things. So that is about me. Let's just get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. I have Vernon's bio in front of me that I'm going to read, And I must say that I am never not impressed with my guest when I learn about him. But before we read his bio, I do want you to understand Mr. Green has been featured in a magazine for the Stafford area. You were also just featured where? Because you told me that over the phone. You were featured somewhere else.
Yes, to be honest, there's been a lot of magazine covers. There's this one for our neighbors in of Courthouse, the Stafford magazine. I've done quite a few of what is it, Virginia Economics. I have one for Germana. Even yesterday, we spent yesterday. I'm sorry, the last 2 days up on Capitol Hill talking about STEM education with senators, representatives, and people in the House and the Senate, trying to just make them aware of the changes that are happening within STEM and how we can reshape our educational processes in order to support those new jobs that are coming. We are not in the same place that we were in the Industrial Revolution. And
Nope.
so I don't want to get too far ahead, but I will say to the young lady that just connected me on Instagram, it's an example of how innate this new technology is to the younger generation, and how naturally they use it so just natural use, whereas I've been in cybersecurity for over 25, 30 years, and she just taught me something. And so that's the
Wow.
great thing about technology. It continues to grow, it continues to progress. And there's in young people, this is the most connected generation that has ever existed. And they use laptops, cell phones, and tablets like it's just another tool. We didn't have those tools growing up, so we learned them over time. They were raised with them. And so it's a totally different era.
I'm on mute because I'm not, and I don't want to interfere. You are 100% correct. She did this in I know less than 10 minutes.
Less than
Just as
2
an
minutes.
idea. And so this is the age that we're in. And her name is Jocelyn E. Coleman, and affectionately Little Bit. But again, just the wonders of technology and what we're able to do to move the needle. So we're gonna talk about this congressional talk you're doing. I didn't know about that. That's awesome. So let's get to the bio. Vernon Green Jr. is a retired chief warrant officer, an honorable veteran having served over 20 years in the U.S. Army. Thank you so much for your service, sir. Mr. Green established GCubed Enterprises in 2014, providing IT and cybersecurity services for businesses and organizations. Green also founded G3 Community Services, a nonprofit organization dedicated to strengthening communities and supporting the family unit through coaching, mentorship, and education. Again, our missions are aligned. Mr. Green holds a master's degree in cybersecurity, a BS in computer information technology, and several industry recognized cybersecurity certifications. He sits on several boards and committees to include the Stafford Education Foundation and the Virginia Black Business Directory. Mr. Green is a mentor in his community, a leader in Stafford, and believes that together we can do more. And I'm just going to add one thing: we can and we will.
Exactly.
We will do more. So it's an honor. It's an honor to sit across from you. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want to wave to our Instagram people and say hello. Thank you for joining us. Anything interesting happening in Instagram world?
Yes, we have some congratulations on 2-year anniversary.
Yes, we're continuing the 2-year anniversary celebration, you all. You all just don't understand. And we have a mutual friend. Now, this is the one thing I love about being in community and serving the community. Today alone, I have been contacted by people that I have known since I was in high school that also know you. And today, we just got some love from Erica M. Roberts, who
Wow.
connected us. I'm going to be on her platform this Saturday. X is possible. She's phenomenal.
She
And
is
so
amazing.
she is absolutely amazing. So, Erica, if you're out there, thank you so much, my sister. Y'all look her up on LinkedIn. She's also somebody you need to know for sure. So let's get into these questions. So we've talked about Feet Planted. We've given folks a peek inside your background. I just want to give you the floor, sir, to tell us this journey. Tell us about this journey from 20 years in the Army to right now.
So it's actually it's one of the stories that I tell the most. I do a lot of speaking engagements, especially to youth, on cybersecurity, but also just resiliency. And so um, I like to share some of the points of my story. A lot of people see me now and they see someone who educated, owns a business. They see the nice things and they see that. But what they don't know is that I came from poverty. I came from I was kicked out of school in the 7th grade, declared that I was too dangerous to be around other kids. And so for a long time, it was me and a tutor 2 hours a day, twice a week. And that was considered my education. And so every year I had to petition to get back into school and try to do something. And every year they would refuse. What they don't know is that I came from foster care and that my father was locked up in prison and my mom was doing all she could, but we were removed from the house in order to force my mom to get into a better situation. She fought to get us back, which was great. What they don't know is that I went through a period of homelessness and being out on the street. You know, I like to tell people in business that you have to, one of the most important things to do in business is not your product line, not your services, not what you sell, but it is why are you in business? Why are you doing this? And when you can answer that question, then all of the difficulties, all the failures, all the no's, the rejection, the hardship, it becomes bearable because your why is so strong that it carries you through those times. Now, if your why is weak, every time a hard thing comes up, you're going to quit. You're not going to do it. You're not going to see it through. But because of my humble beginnings and because I wanted more for myself and my family and my children, my why carried me through those difficult times. And they were hard. Starting a business is not easy. If you know the stats, 50% to 70% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. And so we are proud to say this coming April, we will have been in business for 10 years. And that alone is I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And so going into the military to change my situation gave me an opportunity to get education, structure, get discipline, and then leaving the military and going right into business allowed me to use the network and all the work that I had done in the military to lead towards new contracts and new opportunities. And so while I had built a very strong reputation in the military, people knew who I was and spoke highly of me. When I went after government contracts, my reputation preceded me and I began to win contracts rather quickly. We grew pretty fast. We've been Inc. 5000 fastest growing company 3 years in a row. We were Financial Times fastest growing company. We've made all of those top achievements and top list. We were number 22 fastest growing veteran company a few years back. And so all of these accolades help us tell our story and get out there and show what we can do. With all that, I will say that there's two sides to this that I'm sure we're going to get into as we get into the questions. There is the cybersecurity side and why, as a business owner, I am pushing STEM because our national defense is in a place where STEM initiatives and STEM jobs are increasing in number. Right now, we have in Virginia alone, we have somewhere around 140,000 open IT positions. Across the nation, it's like 1.7 million open cyber and IT positions. And when you look at unemployment hovers between 4 and 5%, but in IT, it's less than half of that. It's about 2%. And so when you look at these numbers, it's important to me as an employer, but I'm gonna tell you why it's more important. It's more important because when you talk about economic development and economic empowerment, the fastest way for us to change our situation is to put people in jobs and careers that make money to change their situation. And so when you look at IT and cybersecurity, one of the best things about it is it does not require a 4-year degree. It requires a certification that you can take within a few months and get up and running and start making money. One of the programs that we have here partnered with Stafford County Public Schools, the Cyber 4 Plus program and the Innovation Pathways program. The whole thing is to hold on, my video stopped for a second on Instagram. I just continued it. The whole point of this is to get as many young people certified in these certifications so that we can put them to work faster. We know that everybody is not going to go to college. We know that everyone doesn't have the resources to go to college. But if we still can set them up for a career opportunity, starting off making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year right out of high school, then why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we support that? And when you look at the number of jobs in STEM, that they're only increasing. There are jobs that are going to be here in 5 years from now that don't even exist right now. And they're all around science, technology, engineering, math. Okay, I'm sorry. My daughter is passing me something. Okay, thank you. It's great to be live, right?
I love it. I love it. We have families, y'all. We real people. We real people.
That's right. We're real people. But I'm going to break right there because I know we got a lot of questions. What I'm going to say is that STEM is one of the ways for us to change our economic positioning, especially in low access, low income families, regardless of ethnicity. Yeah. This is something that can change your family situation, and all it takes is a couple of certifications to open the door.
Whew.
I know that was a lot. I'm sorry.
All I can say is amen, right? I am not in the cyberspace. My degrees are in chemistry and chemical engineering, but I had a master's degree making what you just said someone could make out of high school.
Oh yeah.
So we have shifted bounds and leaps from where things were when I was in school. You said a couple of things that first of all, I admire. You are doing, I'm just gonna pull it out there. You're doing something that I aspire to do. So even though I'm talking to you and interviewing you, I am taking notes because one of my desires is to also get in the school system, is to also help our students get programming if they want to go to school, get scholarships, but also help them understand that your future is at your fingertips.
Exactly.
And your why is tied not to your zip code, but to how you see yourself and what is possible. Which is why I love the name of Erica's company, X is Possible, because everything is really possible. And they're men and women like the two of you, and of course me, that are championing these efforts, putting the time and the resources behind it. So I believe in living on purpose. I'm a spiritual person, but I also believe that we're on assignment. And I believe that you have been assigned to this region to help our young people overcome economic challenges, gain access, and be able to understand what they can do when college may not be an option. Because not necessarily just for money, but just because of logistics, right?
Logistics, family issues, concerns. This person can't go to school because they got to take care of mom. And this person can't do this because they may have a child. There are things that stop. Life happens.
Yes.
And the thing you touched on another thing that's very important to me, and that is access. Yep. One of the stories that I share is that when I was in school, or because I wasn't in school, I never thought, hey, one day I'm going to own my own company, or one day I'm going to be a cybersecurity professional. I never thought any of those things because I didn't think it was possible. There was nobody in front of me showing me that. There was nobody that looked like me that were doing those things. I had no example of it, so it didn't seem real to me. And so that's another reason why we as professionals need to have a process of giving back to go back to schools and show students that, look, yes, this is my background. This is where I came from. And I am this in spite of all of the challenges that I had to go through, because now we're showing them or giving them something that they can focus on to aspire to. You're inspiring them to want something. And if you can inspire them to want something, they'll put in the work to go get it, but you have to inspire them.
It's lighting that fire, and it's being present. And I talk about this all the time because I love that you're a mentor. Of course, why wouldn't you be? They can hear your story, they can see you real time, and they look at you and they're like, if he can do it, so can I.
Exactly.
And that is exactly what I believe our life work is. So you answered question number one without me even asking it,
Well,
and that's good vibes right there. The question was, how are you encouraging students to consider STEM as a career? And you're encouraging it through your business, through your life, and by
yes.
living and leading by example.
Yes, ma'am. But I will also say, especially in that area, I have programs where high school students actually come to my job to work for me, and they're getting class credit for working for me. And when they come work for me, we teach them coding and we put them through virtual reality simulators, and we have them working on fun projects and then have them report out on the projects, so that they can explain what they've learned and the impact that it has had. Several of my high school students have briefed the governor. They've done video presentations. They've done a lot of, they've had some very impactful experiences through the internship. And my internship program is where I try to hire my entry-level employees from. And so they come into the company. We get to train them. We get to inculcate them with our culture and what we're about. Oh, by the way, let's teach them some STEM and some cyber and IT roles and responsibilities as well, which allows us to then put them to work faster.
Man, that is awesome. So, folks, I told you in my talking to Instagram too. I told you on my platform to go get your family members and take notes. This brother is hiring people, interns from high school, getting real world experience, getting the opportunity to speak about their work and do it with confidence. And those skills need to be honed in high school as soon as and early as possible. So I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to put your business information up and where you can find him. Clearly, his name is in his title of his company is right here. So while you're listening to us, feel free to go Google and find more information out. But we'll definitely put that up later. I want to get to the question: what do you see as some of the biggest challenges in creating pathways in STEM? Because you've been doing this for over 10 years. What have you seen? And also I'll add, what are you doing to kind of mitigate and overcome those?
I love that question, actually. What I see is challenges. First off, industry moves at a pace that is very fast. Academia moves at a pace that is very slow. And that difference causes a lot of problems. And so, and what I'm doing to try and mitigate that, I do several things. One, I'm an adjunct professor for Germana, where I get to take my industry expertise and apply it directly to a classroom. Two, I sponsor the Cyber 4 Plus program, which are rising freshmen that get to take cybersecurity classes. And when they graduate high school, they will have their high school diploma, their associate's degree, and 4 industry certifications upon completion of high school. And then the 4 years that they're in high school, that's called the Cyber 4 Plus program, rising freshmen have to apply for that every year. But the 4 years that they're in that program, they work with my team, and my team is working hand in hand with them for tutoring, for support, but also for opportunities outside of the classroom so that they can deploy what they're learning. For example, there's a company in Fredericksburg called Fredericksburg Fencing, and the owners, I met them at a political event, and we sat down and talked about bartering services. And so they needed some IT support. And I asked them if they would allow me to use students. And so I took high school students down to their office on a Saturday morning, Saturday and Sunday, and we rebuilt their entire infrastructure, the wiring, the routers, set everything up, re-put their computers on the network, reset all the printers. We did everything using these students and a couple of my professionals to lead the way and guide them. That gave them experiential learning, but it gave the company, it helped them fix their IT issues without them having to pay out anything, because we did not charge them anything, because this was a learning opportunity. And so that type of relationship, and the more industry partners you have that are willing to do this, provides educational institutions with a place for their students to have that experiential learning experience.
That is phenomenal. I love being able to get work real time in the space that I'm in. My day job is with DoD. My day job is Feed Planet LLC, and I hear continuously, we want students with experience. Folks, I'm here to tell you, Instagram. I'm here to tell you, when you run this back, whether you're watching it live or you're going to watch it later, your children need experience. They're looking for experience. And what you just heard was a few terms that I want to unpack a little bit. Bartering. That means you have a gift or a skill. I have a gift and a skill, and no money is exchanged, but we exchange strengths. We exchange resources.
Yep. That's exactly right.
And so when you are curious, I'm talking to the green button. I say that all the time. Students, parents, if you have a child with a set of skills and you're not sure what to do with them or what that student should do with them, consider exchanging resources, getting them in a program like, and I wrote it down on my paper, Cyber 4 Plus, or other programs where they can get real world experience. It does so many things for their confidence. It builds confidence, it builds skills. They're able to communicate. They're able to learn from the cadre of adults and people around them. This is a win-win situation. This is an absolute win-win situation. And so I absolutely love it. Again, we're going to get to your website. I'm sure all of this information is on your website, correct?
Yeah, on my two websites, my for-profit and my nonprofit.
There you go.
We'll post both. Another thing really quick is the Innovations Pathway Program. We have been working with Stafford County. There's two challenges. One, there's a shortage of teachers, and there's already a national teacher shortage, right? But additionally, as schools are trying to position themselves to now teach cyber and IT at a younger age, people who do what we do don't work on teacher salaries. And so that is another challenge that we're having. So what we've done in partnering with the region is we allow the teachers to go through our certification programs at no cost to them, because we are providing a service to the schools. And we partnered and received a grant from Go Virginia for about $1 million. And this $1 million is to get as many teachers and students certified. So if you have students in the Region 16, planning District 16, which is Fredericksburg, Stafford, Spotsylvania, King George, and there's one more. Forgive me, I'm forgetting it. But if you're in that planning district and your kids are in school, ask them to talk to their teachers about the Innovation Pathways program. It is already accessible to them, and it's free to your students, and they can get certified by taking these training classes through our program.
So you see me turning this way because I'm typing. I wanted to put this on the banner, so you all are just going to have to bear with me for a minute. Innovators, what, sir?
It's the Innovation Pathways program.
Innovation Pathways program. See, we can do this real time. We can do hard things. We can put that up. Innovation Pathways program. The only thing that I say is that there may be a few misspelled words because I'm typing real fast. But
that information is on our website as well, so you will be able to see it there.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm geeking out. I tell people all the time, when this is your passion and your purpose, I vibe off of my guests. They encourage me. It does my heart good to know that you are in the school system and that you're providing opportunities for economic advancement and for community. Because when we individually as families elevate and are able to move and have those resources, it just spreads. And we're
That's
able to build up our communities. And I come just a fun fact. I teachers made me. Both of my parents are teachers, and so when you talk about, we're not even going to get into salaries because we'll be here all night. But empowering our teachers and giving them skills that they can then pay it forward with their students, and then they can get those certifications to be able to advance their own education and branch
exactly.
out and do and not be so dependent on the salary, but are able to just continue to share the knowledge with students and to better themselves. I mean, it is a win-win situation.
And that's the key. The key is this. There are some people that don't agree with me. They say if you train the teachers, they'll leave. And I'm like, yes, I want them to. I
To
want
better
to
themselves.
train them to go better themselves so that they can
Absolutely.
fix our greater pipeline of open positions. But that also allows me to train the next group of teachers that also want that same thing. So
Feeder
you're
system.
exactly. It's
Feeder
a
system.
feeder program, and people think so small. Well, if I train them, they'll leave. Well, if you don't train them, they'll leave.
They'll leave.
And what
Exactly.
you want to do is train them so well that more people want to be trained and they want to come through that pipeline. And that's what I hope we're doing for our teachers. And at the same time, now those teachers are skilled enough and educated to teach it to our students, which is going to give us a better, more prepared student graduating at the high school level. What does that do for me as a business? That is a cheaper, younger workforce that I can afford. And for small businesses, that means the world. And so if I can save, then I can also give them more training. I can bring them up and give them more opportunities. But if we're all competing for the same high price IT talent that we're already saying is not enough, there's not enough people in those positions, then small businesses miss out because they can't compete with the big businesses. This is, if
Absolutely.
you are the owner of a small business, you should be working with your school districts, period, because it is a way for you to get a cheaper labor force as long as you provide them educational opportunities.
All I can say is let the church say amen. My friend up here said amazing. She's a fellow Army person, retired. Uh, it befumbles me why we think small, but I understand it because when you operate, and this is free, y'all, when you operate from a deficit, you will always be small minded.
That's right.
When you operate out of what is possible, you will understand of how educating teachers multiplies because they're in a classroom of other minds that are going to look at them and say, oh, I want to do that. And
Yep.
oh, by the way, they're training our students to compete with a broad range of skill sets for not only jobs but for opportunities for college if that's what you choose to do. It just continues to pay it forward. So I'm going
Absolutely.
to step down off of my soapbox, but I foot stomp everything that you said. I'm going to jump to the next question, and I think that we actually we didn't answer it, so I'm going to do this. Parents, for parents of students who are watching, whether you watch this now live, hey Instagram, how you doing? What are some tips that you can provide to our parents out there to help them jumpstart a career in STEM for their students? Like, what can they do? You talked a little bit about it, but let's peel the onion back a little bit.
Absolutely. And so, parent, first off, recognize the talents of your kids. Like I'm telling you right now that I have kids that actually come and code. They code for me. And I'm like, where did you learn this? Well, I was playing on YouTube, or my mom or dad does this. And these kids have talents that are just unbelievable. And so identifying those talents and feeding those opportunities, put more opportunities in front of them, whether it's an internship, whether it's there is so much free training out there. One of the things that I tell kids, this is the most connected generation that has ever existed. And there is so much information on YouTube and so much information on self-paced teaching curriculums. And so what you want to do is, if you see a child that has an interest in these STEM areas, feed them, feed that interest. You can challenge them at home. I'm sure a lot of houses have home Wi-Fi. Have your child rebuild the Wi-Fi, change the IP addresses, change the security measures. Have them, as a matter of fact, in my house, I rotate my security every 3 months. So what you should do is every 3 months, have one of those children redo your entire Wi-Fi system in your house. And if you're like my house, every TV, every phone, every tablet, and everything else connects to it, which means they have to go set up all those devices again. That's how you give them hands-on, practical things that they're going to have to do in their own house anyway. And then break down those things as to, well, what is Wi-Fi and why does this work and how does this work? You don't have to know as a parent. Ask the question and make them go research it and bring it back to you. Now you're both learning something. So challenge your young people to do things that are already technologically in their skill set, that they're already utilizing, but helps them understand at a deeper level what it is and what it does. There are too many people that use the black box theory. I don't know how it happens. I just do this and this comes out. That's great, but that's not going to get you ahead. You need to understand technology, know how it works. The Internet of Things is real now. Everything has a freaking IP address. I'm talking light bulbs have an IP address. Everything is connected. And so all those things that connect also come with vulnerabilities. So how do you teach your children and yourselves to be more security minded? That's where it changes from IT to cybersecurity. We'll talk about that a little bit later, though.
Oh my gosh. We're sitting over here like geeking out, like, yes. So I have two things. Isaiah Felton, don't go be changing my passwords. My bonus son. Ask me first. But he is a techie as well. And I love how these things can be done at home. We don't have to pay $1 gazillion for these programs. There are things at your fingertips that you can use. Absolutely. Oh my goodness, that is just tremendous. So you know that you've looked at the questions that I have.
Yes.
I want you to actually go into the subject you were about to talk about, because my next set of questions is really about you. So you have the floor, sir. Continue.
Absolutely. I get a lot of questions around the difference between IT and cybersecurity, you know, and I tell people IT are the tools, the software, and the things that your company gives you to enable you to do your job. So your laptop, your phone, or your software, your Microsoft, all of that is considered IT. And that is supposed to enable you and help you to accomplish your mission or whatever your job is. Where cyber comes in is those same tools can be exploited to be used against you. So a cybersecurity perspective is to use those, to see the tool set that you have and to set it up from a secure mindset to minimize any vulnerabilities or any exploitations, so people can't hurt you utilizing those same tools that are issued to you to do your job.
Okay, look here. This wasn't planned, but this is a school. Y'all need to run this back and understand this terminology, because when you go out into the world, you need to understand this is where we are today. This is the technology. It's also the hackathons. It's also how we apply the science. But what he just broke down differentiates how we use it. I hope you all are paying attention. We've got some Instagram folks. Did you see? I think some. Again, we're connected. Your frat, Aaron Slack, DJ Aaron said hello. Hey DJ, he's out there.
What's going on, DJ?
He's saying hi to you. This is what I love about what I do. I say it all the time. I'm about building community. Mr. Vernon Green and I, Mr. Vernon Green Jr. and I today have identified at least 10 people that we know.
Yeah,
between the two of us.
Easy.
I
mean, great people, like
awesome people.
so let's speak on that for a second. If you are a young person, or if you're a parent, if you don't understand the power of networking, right? The power of networking is incredible. And you
Yeah.
don't know, the student you're sitting next to in class might be a future hiring manager or a future business owner. And so you're never too young to start networking. You should be building a resume. If you're sitting next to someone in school and you see they're smart, don't be mean and bully. You might
No.
want to take note and remember that person. So when you need that skill set, you can call out and ask for them, and they see you in a good light and good favor. But in business, the success of your business is only as high and as powerful as the strength of your network. Who is out there saying, yes, give that person a try. Yes, I know that person's character. Yes, I know their skill set and their work ethic. Who is speaking on your behalf that's going to move someone to give you an opportunity? Because you cannot do those things on your own. Those are things that come and are handed to you or gifted to you, and you need to be ready to take them. But more importantly, you need to have someone that is championing for you in your network that says, hey, there's an opportunity. I know somebody who can do that. And they speak your name in a room full of opportunities. Who is doing that for you?
Yes. Let the church say amen. If I had a choir and a tambourine, when I tell you, and I'm very transparent, you can go look at my stuff on LinkedIn. You will find that I had yep, again, we know the same people. I had a departure from government and I went to work for Amazon. And we all know what happened with some of the big companies. Well, I have a job now, and I was able to procure an opportunity because of my network, not because I'm the sharpest tool in the shed. It's because I let my work speak for me, and I knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody.
Yep.
And what I need every young person to understand is that we need to dispense with the foolery and get down to business, because you have so much to offer. You have so much to offer. Expand your network, open your mouth, talk to people, and get in some of these programs that you heard about with GCubed Incorporated or Feet Planted LLC, because I'm gonna have some programs in 2024 where we're gonna talk to you about what I call soft skills, but they're really life skills, being able to speak for yourself.
Yes.
Talk about what you're interested in. And notice I didn't mention GPA one time. Notice I didn't mention intellect, because when people hear, let's dive into this for a second. Let's just talk about it. When people think of STEM, they automatically exclude themselves
because they think, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. The truth of the matter is, there are some areas of STEM that are highly technical, highly hands-on. Yes, there are some. But what people don't understand is there are even more areas that are not technical. They're not the math. Let me give you an example. If you are someone that is good at English and good at expressing yourself and good at writing, then you could be someone that interprets the technical stuff into SOPs and writing and policy and directives and regulations that govern a company. And all of that is still considered cybersecurity. If you talk about risk management framework, which is very big in cybersecurity, you're talking about following a set of procedures to ensure that what's happening is happening, an audit trail or auditing. That doesn't mean that you have to know how to do the technical thing. You just have to ensure that it happened and know that it happened and report that it happened. There are a lot of areas within your STEM initiatives that are not as scary. I just heard this story. I was on Capitol Hill twice, or Monday and Tuesday this week, and the director of Cyber Patriot told this story. He said he had a room full of students and he had two engineers that came in from Boeing. And the student said to the engineer, hey, I'm not great at math, but I want to be an engineer. And the engineer looked at that student and said, listen, I wasn't great at math either. And the way it goes right now is go take another degree that does not have as much of the math, and then get a certification that shows me that you can do the job. And I will take the degree to say that I know he can learn, and the certification to say I know he can do the job. And I don't care about that math that you didn't do that didn't mean anything anyway. So there are ways for us to get around this stuff as long as we get involved and understand it. I don't want people to count themselves out just because they think I'm not good at one thing, because there's IT is this big and this wide, and
Yes.
there are so many different niches within that spectrum. So you don't have to be great at all of it. Just
Mhm.
work out the part that you are good at and demonstrate that.
I love it. One of my gifts is communication. Another gift that I developed along the way was extracting untapped skills and talent from people. And the reason that I love what you said the most is because it's part, this is what I'm good at, but it's also part, how can I use what I'm good at to further career, to further school, and demystifying what STEM is. Because the exchange that you are having with the person across the keyboard and at Instagram now is real time. Folks, you need to talk to us. You need to talk to people that can educate you about what it's like to work in the workforce, what skills are needed, because it's not as hard as you might think it is.
It really
It
is.
does require initiative. Now, don't get me wrong, it does require hard work, but I have talked to so many students that compare themselves to the 4.0s and the 3.8s. I'm throwing out numbers here, and immediately think that because they can't get through one class, that their future is just absolutely done.
Right.
And you just heard Vernon Green Jr. say that that is not so. I'm going to say it's not so. I was not good at math, and I took as many math classes as I could. Lord knows I tried. But let me tell you, what I am good at, I capitalize on. But it takes someone sitting down with you and showing you a path, pathways, right?
That's right.
Innovation in a field to be able to help you understand and see yourself as a contributor, to see yourself as a creative. We won't even get into the A part of STEM, the graphics, because I'm one of those folks too. I love graphics. I'm a self-taught graphic designer. And
Well, there's a
so,
lot that goes from STEM to STEAM, and and
absolutely.
and and there's the truth of the matter is, the way the world is going right now, STEM underlines everything else. So whether it's art, music, architecture, it doesn't matter what it is, there's going to be a technological aspect of it that underlines all of those initiatives. When you look at the medical field, medical industry, there's so much technology there that supports it. So yes, I want to be a doctor. Okay, that's great. But look at all the STEM that supports it. I want to be an architect. Oh yeah, that's great. That's a lot of math and a lot of STEM. But what about if I want to be a musician? Okay,
Mhm.
what musician? Look at the instruments. Look at all of the technological advancements that we've had in synthesizing. Your husband just made some beats today. I'm sure he messed with some technology over there in order to
He
make.
did. He did.
And so there's all these different areas that I think where we've sold ourselves short is thinking that it's this or that, because the
Mhm.
truth is it can be this and that. I can do both. I can be in STEM and show artistic ability. I can use my artistic ability to implement STEM and to affect STEM. These things don't have to be separate. They can operate in the same space.
And most of the time they do.
That's right.
And I'm not criticizing the parents, but I am talking to you because a lot of times we live through our children, and if it doesn't look like this thing, then the possibilities seem different. And I'm here to tell you that your child needs to be able to discover
That's right.
what really is passionate to them. And if it's music and art, there's still a place for them. We are, I'm just going to say this. We're missing out on so much technology because somebody told a child that they couldn't do it.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
We're missing out on some discovery, some nuance, new thing, because someone's ingenuity has been quelched. And I am you are sitting in front of the person who his passion and his assignment, I believe, is to unlock that for so many people, for a community. And I'm really just proud to have this conversation. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out. I'm geeking out. I'm
No,
geeking
let
out.
me give you there's another aspect, and this is to parents and to young people. The in the event that you fail or you find something that, hey, I did this and now I don't like it, understand that you've just identified something that you don't want to waste your money or time doing. And that's why it's better for the student to experience it in school and figure out that it's something they don't want than for them to go to college and spend all your money and then find out that they don't want it. That we need to expose them to as many things as possible at a younger age so that we can trial and error, get it in. Oh, I love that. Or nope, get it out. I don't like that anymore. But if they're not exposed to it, then they're not making that decision until later. And one of the things I was very happy, I spoke at the Stafford County School Board meeting on Monday. And one of the things that came up is that we are now moving our high school platform towards academies, and these academies will have subject orientation per academy. But the reason why I love it is because it allows them to have such exposure to such a range of different career fields, and then turning around and matching those career fields with industry partners who can give them real life experience in those areas. The way our education system was built on the Industrial Revolution, which was assembly line. And so we have everybody sitting in a row doing manufacturing and that. But we have been pushing to improve and modernize our education systems. And this is how you do it. Experiential learning, putting the kids in. If you sit a kid down and give him calculus and tell him do calculus, tell him or her do calculus,
Lord,
that's going to be a very boring thing. You teach theory and you teach it to them. But if you put them in a live situation where calculus math determines an outcome of a product or a service or something else, to where they can see the importance and the practicality and the implementation of that math, now they're learning in a way that is not just a book and me doing some stuff. I'm looking at the impact of what I'm doing and why it's important and how it's utilized. That's where the education needs to move to.
Oh my goodness. I have seen students just cringe at the thought of not being able to be successful in these classes. And it breaks my heart because they negate all of the other things that they're capable of. And experiential learning because I'm a visual person. I was that person that in the classroom, you're going to bore me to tears, which is why I gravitated to engineering, because I could tinker. I could touch it. I could see the pressure. I could see the volume and the gas and all that other fun stuff. And so it's really important to allow our students to have those hands-on experiences. Before we get too far along, I haven't been putting up the comments because you've just been dropping so much knowledge. I didn't want to interrupt. No, don't apologize. So our clear mutual friend, Danita Anderson, she has a few comments. And so I'm just going to go through a bunch of them. She loves networking. She gave, Kira a chance through her sister Rolanda. So this is like a family. It's a family reunion. It's like a little family reunion. So I just wanted to know that there are people out here responding to what you're saying and giving you some love.
Thank you so much.
So I would like to move, and you can flop back and forth as you get inspired and have information to share. Please don't hesitate to do so. But this is more specific to your journey. And I would love for you to share the best advice you were given as a student or adult. What was it?
Woo. So this is not going to be nice. I'm gonna warn you up front. This is not a happy story. But what I'm going to say, and I've had to tell this story a few times, and that is, I was one of those kids that was told that I would never be anything, that I would never amount to anything, and I think the thing that got me was, and I hope this is what happens in every kid if they get the opportunity, is to have the wherewithal to say I have the ability to change my own situation, regardless of what people say to you or whatever. There, that we have the power of choice, and that power of choice means so much. I chose to not continue in the path of my family and the things that were happening and the traditions and traits that were going on. I wanted more, and so I chose it. And so what I will tell you, and every person out there, I don't care how old you are, every single bad thing that happens to you helps to shape you, mold you, and create you and make you stronger. I do not say that I like all the bad things that happen to me, but they have made me the person that I am today. And I love me some me now. I love the man that I am now. I love the fact that I can create and provide opportunities and do all the things that I can do because people told me that I would never be anything. And so whether it was out of spite or whatever, I was not going to let what they said about me be true. And now I'm happy. I tell people, as I started earlier, I never woke up one morning and said, I want to be a business owner. I never said that I'm going to be a cybersecurity professional. What I did is I worked hard every day in taking a step forward to be better than I was the day before. And one day I lifted up my head and I was here. One day I lifted up my head and I had accomplished all these things, not because I was targeting trying to accomplish it, not because I was trying to float my ego or do any of that. I just worked hard every day. And one day I looked up and I had accomplished all these things. And I'm very proud of those accomplishments.
I'm glad you believed in yourself, because we wouldn't be able to have this conversation. I don't take what you said lightly. Your story is similar to some that I've heard, even in my own home. My husband, he doesn't mind me telling him, he was in foster care for a while, and he had to overcome some things in order to reshape his future.
Yeah.
It is possible. And the power of choice, you chose yourself.
That's exactly right. And
You chose yourself.
so I'm going to tell you this, and this is kind of important. I actually didn't choose myself. If I chose myself, I probably would have been better sooner. But what I chose, I had my first child at 16. And when I had my child, my daughter, Tikwa Green, my oldest child, it changed my life and my priorities. It gave me someone else to care about, because I didn't care about me. I was already kicked out of school, in the streets, doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. But when I had that child, that changed me. And I'm not, please, I am not encouraged. I'm not encouraging teen pregnancy. I'm not encouraging any of that stuff. But that child gave me a sense of responsibility and someone that I needed to take care of and be better for. And so I chose my child. And that, along with choosing the military, have been two of the biggest impacts to my life. My wife and my child, in my time in the military service, and understanding that service to something greater to you, mission over self, it has great value.
That is a powerful story. Life comes at us in different ways. And one of the things that I've heard you say consistently is being able to make decisions for yourself. Um, you had a really good reason to change the trajectory of your future. And look at where you are. Look at who you are. Look at the impact that you've made. So that's a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment. I really appreciate the transparency, and thank you for sharing this story. Um, your point, my friend is pointing at something.
Yeah, I think my screen had locked
Okay.
on Instagram. It should be fixed now.
It did. It did. She's giving us the thumbs up. Um, I want to get to the next question. So, for those of you that are just joining us and you're popping by, and you're seeing the bright green shirt and you're seeing this bald headed woman, my name is Karrin Mayfield Felton, and I'm celebrating my 2nd-year anniversary with a very special guest, Vernon Green Jr., CEO and founder of GCubed Enterprises Incorporated. He is and has dropped a lot of knowledge. Whether you are watching this live or whether you plan to watch the replay, I highly encourage you to sit down and bring your family, because there's so many powerful statements, and his story is worth watching again. I know I will do the same. We're also on Instagram. Hey, Instagram, you can play this back too. But let's press on. How are you preparing the next generation of scientists and engineers through your company? What you doing?
First, a lot. The answer is always a lot. So first off, my youngest daughter, she's getting ready to be a scientist. She's in EMT classes right now, taking college classes while she's in high school, and says, "Daddy, I'm going off to be a doctor." She'll be going to VSU. She wanted the HBCU experience, and she's doing great things, and I support that. My other child, my second child, who is she's actually my finance manager for my company. Numbers is her thing, and she is 23 years old, has already purchased her own house and our car paid off. She's 23. I am extremely, has a money market account, all these things. I am extremely, very, very proud. And my oldest daughter, who has just recently started her own business to get out there and break the, she does some very interesting stuff on a lot of different levels, and some of it I won't even talk about. I'm just going to say her entrepreneurial spirit is being fed by a lot of the things that we're doing here. Now, that's just my three daughters. But then when I look outside of that and I look at the kids that come through our office and get an opportunity to be hands-on and brief the governor and talk to senior leaders and get that experience, I love that. I think that that is one of the best ways that I, as a business owner and an industry partner, can give back to academia in the education system. Additionally, if I could make this request and plea, I need more businesses that are willing to take on students. There are more areas out there, and this is one of the most dense areas for business owners. There are so many business owners in this capital region. And so when we talk about giving our kids experiential learning opportunities, we need businesses that are willing to take them on and put them in those situations. I can tell you, it's not always bringing them into my office. I had a marketing event. I needed to come up with a logo for my esports team. And so I went to one of the local high schools, told the marketing team, if someone comes up with a logo that I like, I will pay them for it. The teacher turned that into an assignment. They all submitted their stuff to me. I picked one and paid the student for it. Those are the types of things that you as a business can now utilize students and give them an opportunity. And that wasn't necessarily STEM, that was more art, but it was graphic design, which crosses that line of creativity, art, and technology. So I say all that to say, when you get involved with your school districts, there are plenty of opportunities from a business aspect that I feel you can benefit from and also contribute to.
Absolutely. Challenge accepted. Stafford, Prince William County, Feet Planner LLC is coming. I got all sorts of stuff.
That's right.
I need students to do. I am excited about that because I learned my business acumen from side jobs, watching people, watching them be organized, watching how they communicated with folks. So,
and now somebody's going to watch you and learn their business acumen.
Absolutely. Challenge accepted. Okay, y'all. Business owners, I'm talking to the green button again. Let's go. Let's get this our next generation ready and prepared with experiential learning. I love it. Did you finish answering the question? Was there more you wanted to share?
So there's always more. There just seems to be. So I will take it a step further. It's not just providing those opportunities. How about going on Capitol Hill and advocating for laws and policies that are going to change our educational system at a holistic level? And so when you look at how money flows, and now we're talking access, most people understand that educational systems are backed by property taxes. Therefore, rich areas get more tax dollars, which have better schools, and poor areas have less tax dollars, which have less money for schools. And so when we talk about equaling out access, because my level of education should not be based on the zip code in which I live in. And so going to Capitol Hill and expressing these challenges and offering ways to reciprocate. I briefed them this week on a solution that I believe will help offer greater access to low income schools. And one of those things is my company, who has cybersecurity professionals and different types of professionals in IT and cyber, we can zoom into a classroom and teach some of those blocks to to schools all around the nation. I was out in West Virginia a couple of weeks ago, and they've signed on to take on some of our classes and our certifications. And basically what we're telling schools is, for the average subscription of a teacher's salary, we'll come in and teach those classes for you and get your students certified. So right now we're in Virginia, we're in West Virginia. I have appointments to go to Ohio and Texas and Vegas. And so this is another service that we're providing from a business aspect, for advocacy on Capitol Hill, as well as providing solutions that are going to extend STEM across the nation, especially in areas that can't afford those types of teachers and instruction.
Wow. First of all, thank you for taking that on. That's not an easy thing to do, folks. For those of us that work in the government, there's so much going on in the world, and they're throwing money. I shouldn't say throwing. They're providing a lot of money for scholarships. But I'm here to tell you, if you look at the data, not a lot of that money is coming to underserved and underrepresented groups and communities.
That's
It's
exactly
not.
right.
And that's a fact, right?
That's-
So we're going to talk more about that offline, but I really, really appreciate your ability to not just step up, but you step up with the solution. I mean, a real-time solution that you've already put in practice. So
Well, that's the thing. If you want to have a successful business, find a problem and solve it. If you find a problem and solve it, you will have a successful business. And not just a personal problem to you, a problem that everyone has. You find a problem and solve it, and you will have a successful business.
I love it. We embarking on year 3. We getting ready. Well, this is year 2, but we're gonna find some problems. We're gonna solve them. We're gonna solve them. I love it. I love it. Next question. What habits have you adopted that contributed to your success? Name a few.
Wow. Okay. Now that, so I'm going to have to say number 1, it has to be, actually, it's tied. It's really tied. Great communication and time management. Those two things, I'm going to say 1A and 1B. Time management is probably one of the things that I've struggled with over my entire career, because there's always more tasks than time. And so I've always struggled with that, and I try to manage that. But one of the ways that you can effectively manage your time management is by effectively communicating, so that you reduce the amount of wasted time recommunicating and poor communicating. So I think if you learn how to communicate, it will help you manage your time. But those are the 2 biggest challenges that I have had and that I still struggle with. There are others. And if you are an entrepreneur out there, I'm telling you, if you decide to go into business and it's more than just yourself, entrepreneurship or business ownership is like glorified babysitting. Every single person that works for you, their problem is your problem now. And when they decide I'm sick and I can't go to work, yep, that's on you. And you got to explain to the customer why the people are not there. And it's funny how, I don't know if it was COVID or just a level of, I'm sorry, I'm going to call it what I think it is, entitlement. Everybody thinks that everyone can work from home now. And COVID, we did it for COVID. If your job is solely and only on base at the computer, how are you working from home? Where does that even make sense? If you work in a classified facility, a secret or top secret facility, you ain't got top secret at home. So how do you think you about to work at home? But I get so frustrated with people and their expectation that I have to cave to them to give them, well, I need to be able to work from home for 2 or 3 days a week. And when you ask them why, it's not because they work better. It's because, well, one of my kids is here and I have to stay home and take care of this. That's not working, and I'm paying you to work. So I'm telling you, if you want to get into entrepreneurship and business ownership, there's a lot of things that when you're on the other side seem legit and they seem like, well, I got sick. What do you want me to do? But once you get on the business side and you see that they don't care if you're sick and the paycheck and the numbers are about who showed up to work, once you get on that side, I think you have a better appreciation of why we do need you in the seat, healthy, taking care of yourself, being preventative in your health and not reactive in your health. There's a lot of things that when I sign a contract to the government, I'm promising to give them this many hours at this skill set for this long. And when you take a day off that is not PTO or a scheduled time off, that cuts into the contract that I signed and promised. That causes problems for the government. And I know that was very rudimentary, but from ownership side, you're going to find so many issues that when you were on the employee side, you just thought it was that's just a day. But on the other side, you're really going to have challenges because people are an organization's greatest asset. People are an organization's worst asset. And understand your job as an owner is to mitigate and manage that. You will be doing it every day.
Even if it's yourself. Even especially if you are managing yourself. So I like what you said, because to me that's not just real. So we're in post-COVID, and the reason, so some of you all may be like, well, what does this have to do with STEM? It has everything to do with the mentality of our young people that suffered a lot during COVID and are now coming out of it with an entitled spirit or an entitled mindset. And so the reason, I'm just going to say it, you try doing that on a job and you won't get it. It affects your character. It affects your reputation. It affects your ability to show up. I just did a module on how to show up, and that was part of it. And so taking pride in what you're doing, letting your word be your word, doing the work when you say you're going to do your work, being responsible, not just as an individual, but as a business owner, all of that is paramount, and it's important. And those are skills that are learned, that experiential learning, because you are, whether you own a business or not, this is free, whether you own a business or not, you incorporated.
Yep.
Treat yourself like a business, and then you'll treat my business like a business.
That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Because the truth of the matter is, you are responsible for your success. And if you are the person that are showing up for your success, then we're going to ride together. Your success is my success, and my success is your success. But if you're coming in and you're the person, there's this thing between management and leaders, right? Managers and leaders. And it has this concept of, if I'm paying you, do I also have to motivate you? You should be motivated because you're getting paid to do it. But as a leader, I have to be able to motivate you and get the best out of you regardless.
Yep.
And so the difference becomes, and this is particularly in STEM, because I tell people a lot of people they say things like, oh, give me somebody with the soft skills, I'll teach them the hard skills. That's what everybody says, right? That works for every other area except IT, except coding, except I need somebody with the technical skills. And if I need to, I'll hire an interpreter for that person so that I keep him in a closet and just let him do the technical stuff. Because if I don't have people that can do the technical skills, now I really have a problem. Right. And so I've hired people that had, I'm going to say, personality quirks. And I have put controls around them because they were able to do the high level technical stuff.
Wow. Again, I'm going to throw up the comments. I threw them up while you were talking, so I'm going to throw them up again. Yes, this is great information for free. Next time, sir, we're going to charge. We are. For free. Masterclass. Next masterclass. Absolutely. No, I love the real, not only is this real talk, what people don't realize is that these topics are intertwined. There's a lot of overlap between what we're talking about being in innovation, because all of the character traits that you name support your ability to be innovative, to be trusted, to have character, and to be able to flat out get the work done. So
Absolutely.
we've got one more question. Name a person who has inspired you the most and why.
I would I would probably have to say my wife. And the reason why is because before she was my wife, she was my girlfriend a long, long time ago. And when I was that knucklehead that was out there, she was the one actually telling me, one day you're going to be president. And when everyone else was telling me that I wasn't going to be anything, she was the one that was telling me that I was going to be something. And I didn't even grasp it back then. We joke now. She tells me stuff like, God had to give you all this stuff so you can take care of me. I was the one. So, but the truth of the matter is, she believed in me before I believed in myself, and so she has definitely been there from the beginning. And that's one of the reasons why, no matter how high we get or how much we accomplish, I can always stay grounded because um, we went through it together. We were broke together. We had children together. We still raised them and did the best we could. And so this is a great place to be in now, having known everything that we went through and came through and had been through and now have overcome. And it also sets a foundation for knowing that you can overcome anything else that comes in your way because we've done it before.
That is beautiful. And so I'm just throwing up with what our friend Erica said. Yes, I vote for you for president for sure. Please tell us if it's okay. Do you mind telling us at least your wife's name so we can stop calling her your wife?
Yep, Saroma Green. Saroma Green has been what we, as a matter of fact, we started dating December 19th, 1989. And
Wow.
so we got married September 11th of 93. So we just celebrated 30 years in marriage in September.
That is beautiful. You have a partner and you have a beautiful family and you have I don't want to, it is a business, but you have an enterprise that has roots in the community, to include my community now. Because I mean, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. And so I'm trying. It's hard to find the words because you have literally blessed me so tremendously just in this hour with your business acumen, with your faith, with your family, and just you're walking the talk and you're living it. And I just want to say thank you. So real quick, oops, I'm hitting things. We have some comments on Instagram.
Yeah, so one with DJ Abram, Fred.
hmm we got some noise happening, but that's okay.
DJ Aaron, Fred, you are dropping some serious knowledge.
DJ Aaron said you are dropping some serious knowledge.
There's a comment of I'd love to discuss the importance of parents and their role.
That's okay. I'm going to repeat what she says. Love to discuss the importance of parents in their role. So guess what? Y'all? We got to do a part 2.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 and continue the conversation because this is extremely important. Tonight, you have tremendously just really made an impact on me as an individual, as a woman in STEM, as a business owner. I just want to say thank you. And as custom, we're not gonna let him get away just yet.
Uh-oh.
I always give my guests the last word. So, sir, what would you like to share with the audience? You have the floor.
Yes. Thank you so very much. And I actually put some thought into this because you told me that you were going to do this. And so over the last, November 7th was election day for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to speak from the heart, so everyone is not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm telling you that I'm very frustrated with the fact that we as a people continue to complain about the system that we're in, but don't show up to vote. And when I tell you that things happen over this election that kind of really shocked me, But when I looked at the breakdown of minority representation that voted, we continue to vote at very minor, minuscule levels. And I'm telling you, if we want to make a change, a true lasting change, it happens at the poll with electing legislators who actually believe that in equality, that actually believe in equity, that actually believe that these things are founding principles of what we should be about. And so the way that we make an impact is at the polls. And it's not just when the president is elected. The people that affect you the most are your local elected people. Find out who they are and what they stand for and what they're pushing and what their agenda is, so that we can have a say in what is happening to us in our everyday lives. That's my last point.
I appreciate that. I get irritated when people say they don't vote. And that's why I post when I do, because I want people to know it's your right. Exercise your voice and make things happen.
That's right.
Happen. So I appreciate you saying it. I love it when people are authentic, and I think that that is sage wisdom. Well, folks, it's 8:22. I'm telling you, for the information that you learned tonight, you'd have to pay for somewhere else. And I just want to say before I say that, I have another friend, I haven't mentioned her name, Miss Tierra Proctor, said it's your duty to. Thank you. Absolutely. So you got a co-signer still riding with us. I want to thank you for agreeing to accept my emails, because I was just like, is he ignoring me? Like, what did I do? But I know you're very busy, and I understand with this interview, all of the things that you do, all of the people that you help, all of the places that you are not, and I know you know this, you are on assignment, and you are a trailblazer, especially in this community. And this community needs you and all that you bring, your family and your business. I want to also thank my little bit assistant.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, I don't surround myself by just anybody. She got us connected on Instagram like that.
That's right.
She is our future. She's not that much. Well, she is a little bit younger than me, but she is definitely one of the trailblazers that we're talking about. And thank you. My friend said happy anniversary. This is the best anniversary. I've only had 2, but this is the best anniversary that I've ever had. And I want to thank your family for allowing me to borrow you on a Thursday night for like an hour and a half. Hats off to your wife. I know everybody didn't see this feature. He and I are also neighbors. Let me turn it the right way. This is his beautiful family on the cover. You have a beautiful family. This article was very well done. I learned a lot about you before I even emailed you from that article. So I just want to say thank you so very much. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all, my Instagram folks, for hanging with us. Again, whether you're live with us or whether you watch the replay, get some popcorn, get a drink, a notepad, and a pencil. You are going to need it. So I'm not going to turn the music on because we've got Instagram going on, and I had some audio issues first. So last time, a little bit over here was beatboxing. We're not going to ask her to do that. But we are
looking forward to round 2. We're going to do part 2. So I look forward to it.
Absolutely, round 2, sir. Oh, we can't leave yet, because guess what I'm going to do? Ha. This is what I said I was going to do. So you don't get to see either of us, but this is what I need you to do. I need you to creep yourself closer to your screen, your tablet and your phone, and I need you to look at all his information. Vernon Green Jr., founder and CEO of GCubed. Now, you threw in a word on me, Enterprises Incorporated. So you have 2 businesses.
No, so we are GCubed Enterprises, but we have a DBA as GCubed Inc. Another small lesson: when you start making these long business names, remember you got to write that whole thing out everywhere you go. So you might want to have something a little bit smaller. That's why I have the DBA GCubed Inc.
Absolutely. That's sage wisdom. So for those of you on Instagram, you may not be able to see, but oh my goodness, she's already put it out there. But what I like to do is I like to read it out. GCubed Inc. Find him on Facebook at capital G, capital C, spelling Cubed Inc. LinkedIn at GCU GCubed Inc. Instagram at G_QUBEDINC Cubed Inc. On Twitter, also at capital G underscore Cubed Inc. G3 also has community servers that's also on Facebook at G3 Community Services, LinkedIn GCubed-community-services, and an Instagram GCUBEDCSG Cubed CS. Again, his website is gcubedincorporated.com. A lot of this information is on here. He talked about several programs. I need y'all to go Google this brother. Y'all can go Google where to eat lunch. Go Google this man. Find his company. Find him, and let's get to getting. Let's actually start moving the needle. So I'm going to put his face back up here by himself. I'm going to join you so I can click another button. Sir, thank you.
Thank you so very much. You
Thank
guys have a very happy and I say thankful Thanksgiving as we get ready to go into the holiday season. Yes, please, get a chance, get your notebooks, sit down, take some notes. But I'm hoping to see some of your kids enlisted in my programs because the programs are paid for. They don't cost you anything. I want to see. That's right. And if they do well in the training, I will personally get them certified. I will pay for the certification. So please, I want to see your students in those training programs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Another plug. I love it. Instagram, signing off. Everybody have a blessed evening. And thank you for celebrating our anniversary with us. Vernon Green Jr., Karrin Mayfield Felton, Feet Planet LLC. Y'all have a blessed evening.
That was awesome.